Alright, we're going to do a fun little video here today. A little caliber comparison and rimfire. 22 long rifle, 17 HMR, 22 Magnum. And we're going to shoot these chickens. And I just want to let you know ahead of time, I'm going to salvage as much of this as possible. We got a bunch more of these to do. I'll have them coming up in pistol, shotgun, and centerfire rifle as well. Now, obviously, the shotgun and the rifle, there's probably not going to be much left. But with this rimfire and the pistol, I think I'll be able to salvage a lot of meat. So we'll have a nice chicken cook-off. But anyways, I'll save what I can, as I invested a lot of money in chicken. Thankfully, 2023, that's really cheap. I got lucky and these were on sale, and I found plenty. I had to go to various stores to get enough, and I left some at other stores for other people. But thankfully they were on sale while I was doing this, so I didn't get gypped too bad. Usually they're like $11-12 a piece, but we're getting them for $6 and $7 a piece. I think some of the larger ones are $8. Either way, we'll set them the same way and hit them all the same way. And I'm going to try to use two different variations of ammo for each one of these. So we'll use a heavy hollow point and the fast and light hollow point with the, I'll show the ammo here in a second, with the 22 long rifle. Got kind of the same deal with the 17 HMR. I'll hit it with a lighter one and with a heavier one. The lighter one's a ballistic tip, the heavier one's a hollow point. And the same thing with 22 mag. We'll hit it with a light and fast ballistic tip, and then we'll hit it with a standard heavy hollow point, and we'll see how they compare. So I'm trying to place the shots like, I don't want like some to hit a bone and others not, because then it's not very comparable. So I'm going to be shooting down around that area of that big log there, that big stump in the middle of your screen. It's a laser rangefinder confirmed. I think it was like 15 yards. But I'm going to try to hit on each side of the spine. That way, you know, because the spine's a very small target on these. So if I tried to hit it every time, chances are I'd be glazing it on some of them. So we're just going to be like bop, bop like that on either side of the spine for each shot with both. So I think everyone's familiar with the Velociter and the Stinger. The Gila, in my experience and in my tests, perform a little better, I think, than the CCI variations. But these are very high velocity 40 grain hollow point, 1435 advertised. The Stinger is very high velocity, even higher velocity because it's a lighter bullet and a slightly longer case with more powder in it, 32 grain. So we'll use those two because that's what most people know. These are my preference. I got gel tests and whatnot on these. Check out the 22 playlist on 22/rimfire playlist on the channel for a ton of rimfire videos, including gel tests and whatnot. But that's what I'll use for the 22 long rifle. So we'll do Velociter first and then Stinger. And then for the 22 mag, I'll do that. I guess I'll do that after the 22 long rifle. We'll do light and fast here, Hornady 30 grain VMAX. These are advertised 2,200 feet per second. And then the more standard 40 grain hollow point here, the Maxi Mag, advertised 1875. And then for 17 HMR, we'll do last. By the way, yeah, anyways, I got sidetracked there. For these, the light and fast ones, we'll use these A17s, 17 grain ballistic tip. They're 100 feet per second faster advertised than your standard 17 grain ballistic tips usually are. And then here we have these 20 grain soft point hollow points. They actually do have a divot, kind of like a hollow point, even though they call it a soft point. 20 grain, advertised 2375 there. I'm hoping, I don't know if these will penetrate out the backside or not, but these should. And by the way, rifles I'm using today, Ruger 1022 with an 18.5 inch barrel, Savage 93 R17 with a 21 inch barrel, I believe it is, and a Rossi RS 22M 22 Magnum there with a 21 inch barrel. I'll put a link in the description and review video on each one of those rifles if you want to check them out. But as you can see there, we're set up on that big stump. I got the GoPro off to the side there, get some slow motion from both camera angles, and hopefully this will be a lot of fun. All right, Velociter on the left side, Stinger on the right side. Okay, 22 Magnum. First shot on the left will be the 40 grain Maxi Mag, and then the second shot on the right will be the 30 grain VMAX. All right, now the 17 HMR. First shot on the left, 20 grain soft point, hollow point, and then second shot on the right will be with the 17 grain ballistic tip. All right, let's see what we got down here. So I honestly didn't expect him to like blow the wrappers off, but I guess that's what happens. So these are laid in order shot, left to right, 22 long rifle, 22 mag, and then 17 HMR. Wow, what the heck's going on there? Interesting. I'll open this one up and we'll take a look. So there's the first shot and then the second shot. That one's a little farther left than I meant for it to be. So what do we got here? Velocitor and then stinger. And then there is your velocitor exit. And there's your, where is it? Oh, the stinger's still in there. It did not, unless that's it there. Very tiny little hole there. Might have been the stinger. It could have hit something, went off course or whatever. But itty bitty, it looks like just a fragment made it out there. But there's your velocitor. So, you know, the stinger's faster. Sorry, did I get that? Yeah. Your stinger's faster and does more immediate damage because of the super high velocity, and sometimes bits and pieces of it fragment. The velocitor does not fragment. It's heavier and slower, but you can see it carried that energy through a lot better than the stinger, if that's even a piece of the stinger there. So then here is the 22 Magnum. First shot was with the, that's impressive, the 40 grain standard hollow point there, the Maxi Mag. There's your entry. I got a ton of shattered bone in there, and that meat is just like paste. Then there's with the VMAX version, the 30 grain VMAX bullet, which, well, yeah, that hole's bigger, isn't it? It comes clear down here. Those were entries. And then on the exit, so these will now be reversed. So this is the exit from the 40 grain, and that should be the exit from that 30 grain ballistic tip. So you can once again see the big difference. You get more immediate damage with the lighter and faster rounds, but the heavier ones, they carry more energy farther through the target. So if you're shooting little varmints, you know that immediate damage is good, like little ground squirrels, gophers, whatever. But if you're shooting anything much larger than small varmints, really you want that extra punch to carry that energy all the way through there, and that is a massive difference. Then over here, this was interesting because we just got a little tiny pinhole here. Well, it might be under the skin there. I'll pull that open. So that was the 20 grain soft point, hollow point, 17 HMR. Let me see if I can get through that. And that was obviously the 17 grain ballistic tip. I'm wondering, yeah, there's a hole there, but it's not as big. So I'm tearing that open so you can see the damage down in there from the 20 grain hollow point. So it must have just been like that hollow cavity is why it didn't tear that skin open. So there's that. There's that. So 20 grain, 17 grain. Now they'll be reversed. There's your 20 grain exit. And maybe that was a 17 grain exit, like a little fragment shooting out the side there, but yeah, I would honestly think that's what it is, like a little fragment made it out the side, because otherwise the exit should be about here. Interesting. So yeah, you just see the common trend there. The heavier ones, you know, they carry the energy farther through. You might get a little more damage initially with the lighter and faster ones, but they dump all their energy immediately within the first few inches, and then there's not much left after that, whereas the heavier rounds, they carry their energy through. And I don't know if you'll be able to see anything conclusive from the GoPro or from this camera. I'll have some slow-mo for you guys. Well, you've already seen it by this point in the video. Maybe that'll show something too. But I can tell that the 22 mag definitely seemed to hit it harder, at least from my perspective. But it should, because the 22 mag, no matter which loading you choose, compared to no matter which loading you choose with 17 HMR, 22 Magnum does have more energy. But 17 HMR tends to be a little more explosive. However, I've noticed with those ballistic tips out of the 22 mag, it's just as explosive as the 17 HMR. Sometimes in my gel tests out of rifles, I'm not getting any more penetration with the 22 mag with that explosive tip than what I do out of 17 HMR. But you can see there's definitely a huge difference with that 40 grain there carrying through, and there's just all kinds of bone fragments in there. I can feel still left a massive hole out the backside. Well, there you have it. Hope you enjoyed the test. We actually just wrapped up Maloney if you want to check that out. Those were all 22 long rifle, but I used different rounds. If you want to see all that and more, I got tons of stuff, and I probably already said it. Check out the 22/Rimfire playlist if you want to see that more. These kinds of videos, caliber comparisons. I got pistols, centerfire rifles, and shotguns as well. Shoot different things like pop bottles and chickens and cinder blocks and watermelons and whatnot. For stuff like that, check out the caliber comparison playlist on the channel. Again, link in the description, the review video on these rifles if you want to check them out. If you want to get yourself any of the products you see me use in my video, like my shooting glasses, earmuffs, target stand targets, steel targets, and more, links are in the description for all of that. Thanks for watching, guys, and I hope to catch you on the next one.